Bambi! Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into another episode 2 of
Three.
The Disney. Is it episode 3 already?
Mighty Ducks and Beauty.
Oh, that's right. It is. Man, time flies when you're having fun. We are on episode 3. I forgot all about the Mighty Ducks. I was there last week. Poor Dougie.
Dougie.
I love you, Dougie. That's not true. We didn't forget you. I just forgot we did it. It's part of getting old. Oh, my gosh. But welcome in, everybody, to another episode 3 of the Disney movie review. And we're going to have a good time today. We are going back. We are going really far back for one of the first ones. Actually, it was the 6th movie released by Walt Disney Pictures. I looked it up. And we, of course, are going to be talking about none other than Bambi today. And, of course, my partner channel right over here, this guy, Disney Dan. Dan, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, man, I'm so excited for this. Like, I've got my tissues ready. I'm so pumped, ready for this whole, movie we're going to be talking about, because it's going to be an emotional one.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, we're going to have a good time with this one. No special guests this week. It's not going to be a special guest every single week. Sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. Sometimes it's a matter of scheduling who can or can't make it and things like that. But for sure, we are going to talk about, of course, Bambi. First and foremost, some quick mousekeeping. Of course, Dean over at The Live Place, theliveplace.com. He is the TV guide of live streamers. If you're looking for a stream, you don't know what day of the week they're on or what's on certain days, hours, he has it all lined up. Be sure to check him out. And, of course, my two partner channels. This guy right here, Dan, who goes live on Thursdays, right? Thursdays with Gonzo, right?
Thursdays with Gonzo.
For season 2, and then Saturdays with Disney Fiasco, right here with me on Sundays, and Disney Food Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot on your plate, my man.
I know.
And, of course, Steve's World, Steve goes live on Mondays with Just Another Monday Night, Wednesdays with Diz and That, and Saturdays with me right here with Sports Night. So, 2 great partner channels. We're very lucky to have them. But, Dan, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. I'm going to say, let me see here. We got Wendy Lou, one of our members. Wendy, good to see you. She said, can you call me Flower if you want to? That's right. It's one of the lines in the movies. James Ryan, another one of our members. James, always good to see you, buddy. Timothy Rainwaters is here. There's Dan. Let's see who else we got. It's Joey's World is here. Joey's World, good to see you guys. Jonathan Chong is in the house. Andrea Houston, another one of our members. Andrea, great to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Candy Bomb 15, Cynthia's in the house. Cynthia, another one of our members, our first member. Cynthia, always good to see you, dear. G. Wilson is here. Big Noah's in the house. Big Noah Mountain 5 is here. Wow, it just jumped on me. Hold on, just like that. Can you believe that? Disney Nerd Herders, Charlie and Stacy, good to see you guys. They were alive a little bit earlier this morning with the lazy Sunday morning. We apologize, guys. We were out and about. We couldn't stay for too long, but we'll be sure to watch the replay. Emily LSU Mom, another one of our members is here. Emily, good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. John Hazelton is here. John, great to see you, buddy. Big Disney fan is here. He says, hi, Walt. I can stay in for about 20 minutes till the hour because I got a show. I had no problem. Understood. There's Gonzo. Gonzo is here. The Adventures of Gonzo. Carlos, Disney World Freak, is in the house. What's up, Carlos? Hey, Carlos. Good to see you, buddy. Marguerite Nagy is here as well. Wow, we got a lot of people here already.
Yeah.
I know. It's great.
They've all brought their tissues.
And I think for now we are caught up. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody for sure. So let's talk a little bit about this because, first and foremost, 1942.
Yeah.
That's when it was released. I think it was August of 1942, if I had my information correct. It looks like it was the theatrical release. I'm looking it up right now, guys. Just pardon my... August 21st, 1942. It's about a little over an hour long, so it's not a long movie. It's pretty short. I think it's about an hour 10, hour 6, if I'm not mistaken.
It's short.
It is. It really is. Corey's here.
Corey.
Another great channel. Corey, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here.
I did reserve Pinocchio for Corey, so if we draw Pinocchio, he's going to be...
Corey is in for Pinocchio, for sure. That'll be fun. But, for sure. 1942, Bambi, August 21st, which is really, really neat. This was the 6th film, like I said, of the Disney animated series. You had Dumbo was before it, Fantasia was before it, obviously Snow White was before it. Several ones like that were before this movie. Actually, I can give you the list right here. It was Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, the reluctant dragon, Dumbo, and then Bambi.
Bambi, yeah.
Yep. So Bambi is, Dan. It's a familiar story that we've seen in other movies, actually, and I'll touch on it in a little bit. But it's a story of life, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
It's a story of life, but also a story of how the seasons change, because we go through each season through Bambi.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is he hits on all 4 seasons.
I love it. I absolutely love how it's not just throughout life and how Bambi starts from his birthright to until he gets older, but also we get to see not just the time change in that, but the time change through the seasons, and for its time, it's a stunning looking film. Like the animation is top notch.
For 1942, it's beautiful. By the way, real fast, Mr. Fulton Mraz, we definitely say some prayers for your Aunt Trudy, who passed away.
Oh gosh,
we're sorry to hear that. Our condolences and prayers to you, buddy. Hopefully, this stream will brighten your day a little bit, but for sure, we hope you're in our prayers for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, somebody else just stopped in. I want to say, the Philly crew here.
Hey, Philly crew.
Another one of our members. Good to see them as well.
Too soon.
Well, you know what? I gotta say this though. When thinking about this film, what it reminds me of, it reminds me a lot of The Lion King.
Right.
Okay. We start with Simba as a baby. We go through life. He loses a parent. He supplants basically and becomes and we kind of get the same story. I mean, I don't know if they took from that when they took from Bambi, but that's really the story of Bambi in a lot of ways. He kind of has that circle of life. He goes full circle, and we'll get to the ending in a little bit later. But that's kind of what it reminded me of as I'm watching this film. And the other thing I was shocked with him, and I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and watched this, I always thought Bambi's mom died really early in the film. She really didn't.
Same. I thought it was straight up.
Not right. It's about 40 minutes, about 30 to 40 minutes into this. Yeah.
I haven't watched this since I was a kid.
Right.
And this week was the first time I've watched it since I was a child. And I couldn't remember anything about this movie. All I knew that was Bambi's mum, died, because, how can you not know about that? Everyone talks about it. And I thought pretty much it was a story where the mother, is hunted, and then Bambi's on this sort of traveling story with Flower and Thumper. That's what I thought the movie was all about, but it really isn't.
No,
it's not what people think at all. I thought, Bambi was going to have that Timon and Pumbaa with those characters, but it's really not. It's pretty much, the relationship between him and his mother, and then him and the Prince of the Forest, the King of the Forest.
His father, which is his father, because he does say, "Come with me, son," at one point.
Yeah.
2 things real fast. I want to say hi to Jackie Arvine, the Disney welcome in, and Rachel loves Disney. Welcome in, Rachel. Good to see you. And Pete's here. Pete says Bambi is great with broccoli and mac and cheese. Pete must be he's the guy in the forest that's doing all the shooting, I think. Simba 2 is here. Simba 2 says, I was more sad about all the quail and other birds getting killed.
Oh my God. We'll get to one of those scenes where...
But we start off, it's your typical, we start like we normally would. Bambi is born. They come out, hey, let's go all see the prince. The prince is born. He's considered a prince.
Yeah.
And he's born, and he has to learn. He has to learn to walk. He has to learn to talk. He has to learn to make friends. I like that part of the film, that we actually do get the character development, even for a film as old as this, that they understand that we have to develop the character. What do you think, Dan?
Absolutely. I mean, you could have easily had Bambi, being born and then start talking and start walking, as, a lot of these, animations kind of normally go to. But I think Bambi really needed to sort of, it's kind of funny. There's a lot of human sort of characteristics of how a baby would, develop over its, short time being born, So having, Bambi come alive and saying burr, like, no, it's bird.
Right.
And the walk, him walking, and it's kind of interesting that his interactions with Thumper really early on in the film, because Thumper's already been, he's pretty much just like a bouncy, toddler already.
I take him as being older. Don't you? I take him as probably being a year older than Bambi, maybe.
Yeah,
because he's already developed. Like you said, he can walk, he can talk. That's how I took him. Alex Brenner, welcome in. Good to see you.
Hey, Alex.
Says, I have a confession. I've never seen Bambi. Well, let me just say this right now. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Because Dan made a very good point. First and foremost, the story is, and we're going to get more into it, but visually, Dan, I agree. It's very colorful, very pretty. I think that the scenes, the cinematography really tells a lot of the story and helps with the tone of the story a lot. The dark times, the really light times when the seasons change. Wouldn't you agree a little bit?
So I was doing a bit of research about this, and the best way I could describe the movie as a whole was, firstly, I read that this was Walt's one of his favorite films because he loved the storytelling aspect. He loved, obviously, we all know he loves storytelling, but he also loved Fantasia. And with Fantasia, it's all about, telling stories through music. And the environments, sort of the drip drops of the rainfall in Little April Showers, and so what?
April showers.
Right, with all the water going down the leaves.
Yeah, it's great.
And what this reminded me was this movie is the perfect combination of storytelling and the Fantasia way of movies.
Yes,
and every sort of scene, there was sort of like a. Whenever there was sort of music involved, you could tell, right, this is definitely, you can fit this in Fantasia, no problem.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Jennifer Jones, welcome in. Alex Brenner, welcome in. Good to see you. Joe Schultz says, Thumper is like that best friend who always gets you into trouble and then runs away. Thumper is, what else is really funny? When we meet Flower, this is how naive I am and how long it's been. I always thought Flower was a girl.
So did I.
Flower is not a girl.
Yeah.
Flower is a guy. He's a dude, and we'll get into the later in the film. The more characters that brought in, but for sure, it's a guy. I always thought Flower was a girl, because of the name and how he got the name Flower was even funnier because that's what
it's a little bizarre. It's a bit. I'm not gonna lie. How he got his name is a bit sort of weird.
Yeah, but for sure.
Hey,
Yeah, the animation is remarkable. The rain during the thunderstorm flicking off the leaves is amazing. For its time, even today, it would still stand well, I think. Obviously, they could enhance on it, but I think it's done really, really well. I agree, James. I agree 100%. He says, I noticed the film's credits that there were segment directors for each of those marvelous scenes, which makes it even better. They bring their own little take to it, which I think is awesome as well. Dan, I want to get into a little bit with Bambi and his mom. Very good relationship. Obviously, you see she teaches him a lot about snow and about this, that, and the other. And then we get to the first scene when they talk about man. Man has entered the forest. And you see them running off. And that first scene, when they're running off, when man's coming, and you hear the gunshot. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the scene. But it's actually not.
It's not.
She gets away the first time. They both get away. They're safe. I thought that was the only gunshot in the film. Yeah. It's funny the things you learn, from misconceptions of not seeing it for that long. But what do you think of that? About that? Cargo, welcome in as well.
Hey, Cargo.
So,
I was the exact same as you. I thought this was it. I thought this was where his mother was going to get shot. This was the part where Bambi goes on his sort of his own journey, as a very young prince as it is. But no, I think what. If you haven't seen Bambi in a long time and you probably don't know the film very well, if you haven't seen it in ages, it's not satisfying. It's quite a nice surprise in a way, because then that she's around a little bit longer. But obviously we know that Bullet is going for her at some point. But it gives that sort of a little bit of suspense, and that she is going to have, that's unfortunately her end. But I love that sort of first introduction of man. You don't even see a man in this movie. It is solely focused on the animals and the characters, and shows really the fear of the unknown and the fear of people. Yeah, and I think it's great.
Yeah, it's a great it really encapsulates their perspective of this.
Mm.
They'll never see man. Man's always hiding in the woods whenever he's out there looking for deer and hunting deer. They're always camouflaged and they're hiding. So deer never really see them. So it's good that we don't ever see man. And that's the bad guy, and this is us. We're the bad guys here.
Yeah.
We are coming into their turf, and we're coming for them. Ultimately, for sport. A lot of times it's just for sport too, which is even, I guess in a lot of ways kind of sad.
Yep. No, it's certainly it makes you think. It makes you think of what we're doing.
Yeah, Melissa, welcome in.
Hey, Melissa.
Good to see you. And don't get me. I guess the other thing, the relationship with Flower and Thumper and Bambi, we see a little bit of that early on, not a ton of it. And then, of course, you have the ice scene where Thumper gets Bambi on the ice, which is a really cool scene, too. Wouldn't you say? Isn't that a fun scene?
Well, what I love, partly, firstly, with Flower, I thought that Flower was in the movie a lot more.
Yes,
than I
too.
thought.
Yes.
But Flower is barely in the movie.
Yes, very little. Very little.
Very, very little.
Very little.
That ice scene on the lake, in the snow, we were talking about last week with the Beauty and the Beast, ballroom scene and the Be Our Guest scene. Those are iconic, Disney promotional video moments. Mm-hmm. And having Bambi on the ice and when he slides with Thumper in front of him, mm-hmm. and you see Thumper's expression like, through it going into crash, like that is, the Disney promotional video moment. Like that's mm-hmm. where you see it. It's an iconic moment in the movie. So,
Absolutely.
If there's one moment from the movie that reminds me of the film Bambi, it's him on the ice with Thumper. It's brilliant.
It is the scene. I agree 100%. It's the one scene. Pamela Hoffman, welcome.
Hey,
good
Pamela.
to see you, Pamela, for sure. Cynthia, watch it again. We'll give our grades at the end, but I do recommend everybody watch this film again.
Yeah.
And then we get into, like you said earlier, all the different scenes with all the different seasons, which is great. And then we do get into the scene where it's starting to snow, and man's back in the forest again, and this time Bambi's running with his mother again this time. And what's really funny is it's funny the things you pick up on. In the first scene, whenever you'd hear the gunshot, you'd hear the ricochet.
Yeah.
Which means you knew he missed. It ricocheted off of something else.
Yeah.
But in the scene, there's no ricochet this time.
No.
Because the bullet hit its mark. And it's funny. I always thought this entire movie encompassed sadness. But it's really not. It's just that 5-minute scene. It's a powerful scene. But it's that 5-minute scene where he gets back in, he runs into the little patch, and he goes, "Mother, we made it. We made it." Mm. And then he turns around and she's not there, and he comes out and he's yelling for her, and then his dad comes and says, "Your mother can no longer be with you."
It's even the build up, when before we got there, and she was telling Bambi, "We're gonna go to the meadow, and don't let me go first. I want to make sure it's safe." And she, goes out into the meadow and just has a look around, and she's like, "Oh, come on!" And then, they have that little play with, Bambi's future,
right
person, whatever. And then that's when it all happens. You think it's all safe, and then it hits you. You're going, they're running, and like you said, he runs through the forest, and that's it for his mum. Like that's it. Yeah. Like he's shouting, "Mother, mother!" Where is, where are you? Like it's proper, dark. That's the darkest moment. Absolutely.
And the snow's coming down, and he's lost. Figuratively and literally, he's lost. I mean, he's figuratively lost because now he doesn't know what to do. This one person that's led his entire life and who he's followed that person's lead is no longer there. And then as he's looking around, the prince of the forest, the dad, comes up to him and says, "Your mother can no longer be with you. Come with me."
Yeah.
And he takes him, and that's great. I mean, that's awesome, because what's really sad is you're thinking, man, he's going to be alone. But he's not alone. His dad is ultimately there after he lost his mom. And then we kind of flash forward, we get to the owl, and the owl's got a lot of really comic relief in this film. And I forgot about that too. The owl is really a lot of comic relief in this. Wouldn't you agree?
Why does the owl character in every single Disney movie look the same. Like Owl in Bambi, Owl in The Sword and the Stone, Owl in Winnie the Pooh, they all look the same.
I guess most owls look the same. Maybe that's why. Tracy Glenn, Kenzie Day's dad, welcome in, and Michael B, welcoming. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate everybody being here.
Congratulations to Kenzie on her graduation.
So. Yes, congratulations.
That's congratulations.
Awesome. That is pretty awesome. Wendy says her eyes are leaking.
We told you a week in advance to bring tissues, so it's your own fault.
It's a powerful moment, but luckily it's not one of those moments. I look, sad moments in films really help to make the film. They prove their point and they make them that much more important, those scenes. But I'm glad that the entire film didn't encapsulate it. You know, after he goes with his dad, we kind of flash forward. He's now kind of grown. He comes out. It reminded me a little bit of Rudolph when we see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and he looks up and he's kind of grown a little bit. That's what it kind of reminded me of a little bit. All these correlations I'm making. But now he's grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and he's back. And then that's when it kind of gets really interesting again. You know, because then he meets back up with Thumper and he meets back up with Flower. And now their voices have changed. You can tell they're older, Dan, wouldn't you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, you can tell those differences. You know, he has his horns, so you can kind of get an idea of, you know, that he's grown in. Thumper looks a lot older. You know, you see him with sorts of siblings or kids of his own. And Flower, again, looks a little older himself, even though he doesn't look as different than he did as a child. Maybe that's just is. But you can tell from their voice, their mannerisms, like even just Bambi walking looks a lot more. He looks more pride. He walks with more pride than he does when he was a child. Like he feels stronger. So,
yeah, I agree, and it's good that they actually did that. You know, that again, they really developed the characters visually and voice wise. They didn't keep the same voice. I thought that was important, and it's the type of things you pick up on as you see it again. I don't remember that for some reason. I don't remember it being a different voice as he got older. James Ryan says, and as he emerges into young adult status, they all go out and get Twitter paid.
My gosh.
And we're going to get into that because it's actually, for me, it's one of my favorite parts of the film, but it's something I totally forgot about. Because the owl comes down and talks to them about growing up, and now they're adults now, and they get Twitter paid. And they're like, what? And he kind of goes into this whole explanation, and it's hilarious. Yeah. And then one by one, they all fall to the magic. That's what I call it. And it's really, really cute. It really is cute.
I find it's definitely the cheesiest moment of the movie.
It's awesome, though. I think it's hilarious.
I love the Flower sort of part of it. You know, when Flower meets his betrothed. Because you can kind of not really tell the difference between either of them, to be fair, just by the way they act.
Yeah.
And then Thumper, obviously, Thumper and his one is quite adorable.
It's so funny. By the way, Ron and Meredith, I hope he's feeling better soon. That's prayers for sure for getting healthy and getting well soon for sure.
Yeah, sending thoughts and prayers, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I will say this. Of the three, I really enjoyed the Thumper one. When they show the close-up of the expressions of Thumper's face, it's just so funny. It's just so funny because, as guys, we get it. I mean, it's just so funny.
When he starts, like, thumping his foot.
And she rubs his nose or whatever it was.
I'm just like, the imagery of him thumping his foot is just like I think as I think we get it. We get it.
We do. It's so funny. There's a relation. We can relate to it. It is so funny. Pamela says, I've read somewhere that Walt's own daughter begged him not to have Bambi's mother die. I would believe that. Yeah. But you know how they are in these films. It's like there's one thing you can count on in a Disney film is one of the parents is probably gone.
It's a parental figure, Bambi's mother. Even before Bambi came out. So, Dumbo's mother, Pinocchio obviously has that sort of trouble where he It's not with Geppetto. All he has is Jiminy Cricket. Snow White. Ran away. It's always been like that, sort of.
It's true. It's true. Simba too says. So, was the moral of the story that your mother has to be killed before you can grow and find love, only to have your home burned down? I guess it's not really that as much as it is all the different trials and tribulations that a deer and the forest animals have to go through, good and bad. It's the different things of that. And let's get into that because all three of them find love. Yeah. Simba goes off with Feline. Is that what's her name? Feline?
You said Simba.
Did I say Simba? I'm sorry. Bambi it goes off with, is her name Feline?
Feline, yeah.
Yeah, Feline. And then they have the battle scene with him, which I totally forgot about, with the other deer.
I had no idea.
For her.
And it reminded me a lot of Simba and Scar.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, the imagery, the lighting, I love the fact they were both sort of silhouettes, kind of, when during the fight. It kind of made it sort of as important. I loved it. I completely forgot that this was in the movie.
Yeah, me too. I do too. And throughout the entire thing, you can tell that Bambi's not used to being in this situation where he's got to fight because early on, the aggressor of the two is the other deer, and he's winning. He is. He's putting it to him, and ultimately, though, Bambi gets his feet under him literally, and does ultimately win the battle. He doesn't. Spoilers. He doesn't kill the other deer, but he basically shows the other deer that I'm going to win this, and the deer runs off, and he's with Feline. So it's a good scene, but it's a scene I think that's important, Dan, because that's real. That's really going to happen out there in that forest with those deer. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. It's all about survival of the fittest, and it's all about king of the forest and that kind of. And it's always been like that in that animal nature. It's always been like that, and I love the fact that Disney showed that sort of realism in an animation. Like, what I feel like that this whole film is realism. That's the first word that comes to mind. It's realism, because it is, the realistic aspect of how a child is born, the realism of, the weather used in the whole film, and then the realism of this, fight scene, because it actually is going to happen, in real life. I can see why Disney thought it was one of his favorite films. Yeah,
I agree. I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I, for some reason, thought it was this is okay kind of film. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that's true. We see that a lot down here. I mean, where I was from in Maryland, we saw that all the time.
So so a long time ago when I was really young, it snowed really heavy here in London. And I was driving home from school. I was in elementary school. I drove home. We had a big garden at home. And to get home, and we look outside in the deep snow, and we see a full deer. We see a fully grown deer.
Really? With the antlers and everything?
The antlers, awesome. And we were like, oh my goodness, like how this is incredible. Like we're in London. We're in rural London. And for some reason, this deep snow, we got there at 6:30 in the evening. It was pitch black dark in the middle of December, and we see a deer. Like I had no idea Bambi knew where I lived.
Yeah. Beautiful animals. Hey, Carlos says, "Dear Philly Crew, funny. We watched that yesterday. Really good. And today I watched my first Marvel movie. Mouse Talking Disney Dan are not happy with which one, but hooray! I watched one. We just wanted you to go in order, pal, so you could get the full effect of these movies. That's all. I'm very happy that you watched one. That's awesome. But that would be like watching Return of the King of the Lord of the Rings without watching the first two first. But I'm glad you did. That's a start. Now go back and watch Iron Man first.
And Captain America, the First Avenger, and Thor.
Yeah.
And the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. No, you're going to be fine, Carlos. You're on the right track, buddy. You took the first step into a brave new world. I'm proud of you. So let's keep going, Dan. So then, Feline and Bambi are there, and they're together, and they're asleep, and Bambi wakes up and he kind of goes out because he hears something. And then he goes out to the edge of the forest and he looks down, and you see the smoke and you see the camp. And then his dad comes up and says, "Man is back again. And this time there are many of them, or there are more of them, or many of them." And then it's like, man is the bad guy in this film. They really are. And then that's when Feline wakes up, and then you see all the animals start running because you see the birds come in, and then you hear all the shots being fired and all the different animals running and dodging the bullets, and you think, oh, here we go again. And it's an interesting scene. We'll get to the camp in a minute and what happens with the camp, but I want to touch on this scene.
Oh, I want to bring up the bird. Hold on, the bird. It's
go ahead.
I can't do this. I need to go. I need to fly away. I need to go do this.
And then, yeah, right. And who knows? Maybe that's how birds think. They may be scared, and they're like, "But I can't sit here. I can't sit here." And then the bird flies off, and they're like, the other birds are like, "No, you have to stay. You have to stay." And she flies off, and they shoot her. Yeah. Joey's World says, Walt Carlos probably thinks Lord of the Rings is an Irish step dance troupe. You guys are funny. Poor Carlos. We love you, Carlos. PJ Gillespie, welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. He said, we used to have a deer in the neighborhood that would allow people to walk up to her and pet her. Wow. That's cool. Then that just goes to show you, first off, it's a testament to everybody in the neighborhood that she trusts everybody enough to allow them to do that. That everybody in the neighborhood has gained her trust or his trust to do that, because deer usually won't even get close.
Don't read Carlos's. Don't read it. Don't read it. It will make you angry.
Oh my God, dude.
You've just missed like 20 movies now.
Carlos, the only reason why I say don't, when you go to the Infinity War like that, that's fine. But not knowing the characters and having the characters developed here and here makes the moments in these films, I think, less traumatic. I'll put it to you that way when you get there. But that being said, let's keep going.
Yeah.
The scene with the frightened quail is intense.
I know.
Disturbing. It is.
It is.
It is, James. But what's really funny, well, not funny, but I believe that to be true. I mean, they don't talk, but I think in here, those quails are probably like that. They're like, look, we got to try to get out of here because they're coming. They're getting closer. They're getting closer.
I feel like a lot of, film and TV have inspired scenes from that scene, because when you see those like war films or comedy sketches and stuff, it's like, oh, I can't do this, I need to get out of it, blah 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 blah. I know you got to stay here and look after blah blah blah, and they go, no, I need to get out of it. Right. I feel like they've taken a lot of inspiration from this scene in particular, because it's very cliche. It's very cliche.
Yeah. And then we get to the scene again with man causing mistakes. There's a camp, and the fire is not contained, and it kind of gets out, and then that's when we start. A small brush fire becomes this huge forest fire, and it's very true to life because we see it all the time. And that's a very interesting scene as well. Dan, touch on the forest fire scene. Avery, welcome in, buddy.
It's definitely intense. I would say, again, realism. And, you see a scene like this where there is this forest fire, and you think about all the creatures that are living in this forest who need to get out of there. And you see them rush.
Yeah, they're fighting to stay alive. Yeah.
They're fighting to stay alive. And what I love is the contrast of Bambi and his mother with Bambi and Feline from earlier and later in the film, just trying to sort of get out of there. I think they lose each other a little bit.
They definitely lose each other. And you know what? I got to go back. Let's take a step back. There's that one scene when Bambi jumps and you hear the gunfire, and he falls to the ground like he's hit. Was he hit? We never really said that, or was he? Okay, so he wasn't hit. He was just hurt from. He was just hurt from the jump. Is how I took it.
That's how I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
I think if he was hit,
it would have been over.
It would have been done. Yeah. He wouldn't have been able to get back up. But there is a great contrast there with what happened earlier in the film and then what happened now in the fire. And it's sort of like karma has, caught up with the men, and the fire sort of symbolizes that this is wrong and you're only going to put yourself at risk as well as the animals you're trying to hunt for. And it's a powerful scene. Yeah. And it keeps you on edge. It keeps you on edge for sure.
Yeah, and not only that, during this whole scene when he's trying to get out of the forest with his dad, we really don't know where Feline is at this point. He still hasn't met up with her. She could be caught in the fire. She could have got shot from one of from one of the hunters? We don't know. So that's still the cliffhanger too. Is he ever going to find her again? And Simba, yes, it really is Disney showing the destructive nature of man. I agree 100%. And Avery says, good fact, Avery. He says, Bambi fact, Walt Disney's own daughter protested the death of Bambi's mother. Somebody said this earlier, too. When Walt explained he was following the book, she proceeded to point out other instances where his movies veered from the books. And that's kind of creative, where you kind of take your creative ideas and you go your own way. Sometimes he may think it's good to follow the book, and other times he might think it might be better to veer.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. James, good point. I think he hurt the hoof during the jump. Yeah, I agree. But then the fire finally, Dan kind of fires its way out, or it's gone. And then we do finally, actually, the first person we see of the main characters is Feline. She's on this little island in the water. And we're like, okay, good, she's there. Because Bambi and his dad had jumped over the waterfall to get away from the fire. We haven't seen them yet. And I don't know about you, but when I'm watching this, because I couldn't remember, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is where the dad doesn't make it. I'm thinking, okay, this is where the dad doesn't make it. We're just going to see Bambi coming out of the water. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when I did see both him and the dad coming out of the water. What about you for that scene?
It's again, it goes back to sort of the changing contrast of, I've always thought of this film as progression, with the seasons and emotions. And when you see sort of them jumping off the waterfall and then that change when they come out of the water, you're like, wow, this is like my emotions change. And I think this film is powerful in terms of progression of how people live and move. And I don't know. I thought it was, we all knew that they were going to survive. We all knew that, Bambi, he's the main character. He's not going to be sort of killed off. But, it was nice to sort of see with him and his father, walk out and, all is okay.
I agree. Laura B., welcome in. Good to see you.
Laura.
James says the film was released in 1942, long before there was a large emphasis on protecting the ecosystems. The fire scene with the animals sheltering on that small island is telling. It is. It really is. Avery says another fun fact: there are fewer than 900 words in the whole film. I believe that. It's really less about the communication verbally, the scenes, the vision, the cinematography, the scenes, the music. That's what's really telling and driving the story.
Which brings back my point of how it can be compared very much to Fantasia, where there's no speech at all, and scenes are acted as if they were in a Fantasia style film.
Yeah, I agree. Paul Rollo, welcome in. He says Bambi is an underrated gem. It really is, and we'll get the ratings in a little bit. And then we come near the end of the film where we kind of look. It's almost like we're back to the beginning of the film. Al is woken up and everybody says, hurry, we have to go. Yeah. There's news, he's born, or they're
born.
They're born. And they get there and it's Feline's turn to be the mom. And there's not one, but two fawns this time, or does, I guess, or a doe and a fawn. I'm not sure what they're called. Take care, big Disney fan. Thanks for being here. But, finally Feline has two and all the animals come to greet them and you see them. And that's a really touching moment. And then the owl says, Bambi must be very proud. And Feline looks up and you see him at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And this was the big moment for me because what this is, as a dad, I can relate. He's up there with his dad. But then the dad kind of, not cowers, but just turns and walks away as if to say, it's your time.
It's passing the torch.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing you are now the one. I'm going to fade away and go.
Yeah.
And look, it is life. Our children supplant us. They always do. That's just what life is. But it's a telling time that it's basically the circle of life. Again, it reminded me so much of Lion King. He has supplanted his father as the next one in line, and he'll now be what his father was to his children.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. I hope the remake improves The Great Prince better. Yeah. Paul, again, I'm not now that I've seen this again, I really don't want a remake of Bambi.
No.
For me, now that I've seen it again, I really actually like The Great Prince in this one. His role is minimal, but it's very powerful. The moments where he is there are right good moments for sure. Same with the mom. The mom's fantastic in this film. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
I agree. Not too much, not too little. She sort of teaches him in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
She's very motherly. She's very, it goes back to that realism. Like she feels like a genuine mother who will look after, her child and make him grow and teach him sort of the ways. Like, don't run into things. Like, don't go into the meadow. I need to look out for danger. Like, these are the things that I think make the mother and father in this film so sort of captivating. Is that they're not on screen much, but both of them are plot devices and ways to develop Bambi's character even more.
Yes, I agree. And Paul, don't get me wrong, I'm just not a big fan of remakes, period. It doesn't matter. I won't watch the Lion King remake, and I've not been a fan of any of the other remakes. So Bambi would just fall in line with the other ones for me. So don't worry about that. Lori French, welcome in. Good to see you. And Andrea says kind of what you just touched on, Dan. Very protective. She's very protective throughout this entire film. And really, in a lot of ways, so is the dad.
Yeah.
He's there at the right moments to protect him. And he really is. But it really is. I know we're coming up on 6:42. I want to try to keep it to an hour for everybody. But it really is a film that surprised me with just how much I enjoyed this film compared to what my memory of the film was.
I totally agree. Totally agree. And we haven't really spoken much, but the music made it for me. I love the music. The music is well scored. It's just, again, it goes back to that Fantasia where they used the animation to.
Sorry, Cargo, that was a mistake.
They used to synchronize with the music, the animation and the music synchronized together, and you sort of feel every drop of water on the little April shower scene, or all these different scenes just make you feel. The snow scene is kind of a slippery, slidey sort of musical tone. Mm-hmm. The music alone is phenomenal. So, yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. James says, I also note that it was 1942, and when this film came out, London was still under air attack, and most American men had gone to or were training for World War II. I wonder how audiences received it at such a time. That's a good question. I don't know. Having man be the bad guy in this film, you're right. I don't know how audiences reacted to this. My parents weren't even born in 1942.
No, neither mine. What was sad is that this film didn't make a lot of money. It was a big financial flop. As well as a lot of these sorts of films. I mean, Snow White obviously was a big hit. It was huge for its time. But then, going into World War II with Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi, it really didn't make a lot of money. But I don't know what people's perspectives were. I think, especially the thing we can relate nowadays is, life back then during World War II is so different to what is normality. Similar to our situations today. We don't know what's people's minds change. So I'm intrigued to what people would have thought, back in 1942, but it's I thought it was a wonderful film.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, Avery. Germany banned everything. Hitler didn't want anything. He was a bad dude, like a bad person dude. That's another story for another day. Bambi lost money due to the war. Absolutely, they did. Wouldn't be surprised at all that it lost money for sure. But all right, Dan. So we're gonna keep going on this a little bit. But overall, favorite character and then favorite moment for you.
Thumper, favorite character.
Okay.
I think Thumper it's quite a serious film. If you really look at it, there's not many sort of comedic moments. And I think what needed that sort of life and sort of excitement and that sort of makes you smile briefly is that comedic effect. And I think Thumper does that very well. He's kind of sort of the Obi-Wan Kenobi of this and trying to teach, Bambi of the ways of life.
Yeah.
but not so. But in other ways, because obviously the mother and the father do sort of more of the serious, teachings. Whereas Thumper's just like, hey, this is how you say bird. This is how you
Right.
say butterfly. It's I really love Thumper, and I'm going. I mean, I've got two favorite scenes: the scene with Thumper and his new friend right at the end of the film. Just I love that. I just thought it was hilarious. How he kept thumping
Yeah.
because of his excitement to meet this other bunny. I think it's just hilarious. And then, but my favorite scene overall is definitely sort of the snow and the ice scene. It's so iconic. It's so, when you think Bambi, you think of that scene and that scene where he's sliding on the ice, falling over all the time, and Thumper's sort of laughing at him, and then they sort of slide together. And there's no question that's my favorite scene in the whole film.
Good. So for me, my favorite character is probably going to have to be, I want to say the dad, but I'm going to say Bambi, the main character in this. I really like the progression of Bambi throughout the film. I like how he had to, he had trials and tribulations. He had love, he had he had conflict, he had fear, he had all of it. But it was a great character that was developed really, really well. I really enjoyed the character of Bambi. By the way, Tina McNeil, welcome in, Tina.
Hey,
always
Tina.
Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good question, Paul. Paul says, I wonder if Thumper and Flower had rivals. Probably. They probably did. They just, it wasn't a part of the story that needed to be told. This is Bambi's story, to be sure. They are the side characters.
Yeah.
So Bambi was definitely my favorite character. My favorite scene, I agree. I have to go with two of them. I really enjoyed the scene where he had to fight for her, for Feline. It was a surprising scene that I don't even remember, but I actually thought it was really, really a good scene.
Yeah.
And then I really liked I liked the scene with the fire. All my scenes are really kind of thrilling scenes.
Yeah.
And then I like the end. I just like where he has his own children, and then his dad lets him supplant him as the leader. I that's a telling. I just enjoy that. I think that's really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think obviously when we go through all these films, I'd love to see more Bambi in the parks.
Another film that's not represented at all. I agree.
It's a classic. I think Bambi fits very well at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Easily. I mean, you could even put Bambi in Fantasyland if you really wanted to.
Yes, you could.
But I would have loved to see sort of a Bambi.
Animal Kingdom for Bambi.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you could have easily put him there.
Pamela says, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all.
Exactly. I love that. Talk about quotation lines right there.
Yeah, that's the one for sure.
Bambi also inspired the Doctor Who episode Earthshock.
I didn't know that. I don't watch Doctor Who. So
I love Doctor Who, but I don't remember the episode Earthshock. Cool. So I have to check it out. But I wish they had more at the parks. I really did, because I think he's so deserving to have something at the parks. So I don't know.
No, I agree. Why can't we have something of Bambi at the parks? I don't understand that. It's I don't know.
I mean, you see Thumper for a meet and greet rarely. Thumper comes for a meet and greet. Obviously, you can't have a Bambi meet and greet. It looks kind of weird if they had a. But even just like a, I don't know, like a small dark ride or
something. They could.
Just something. I don't know.
It's not going to happen though.
No,
it's too old of a film. If it's not already there, it's not something they're going to build now at this point.
I feel like it's one of those films where, if you go onto Disney Plus and you're like, right, we're going to watch a Disney movie tonight, I don't instantly think like, if someone says, oh, do you want to watch Bambi? I'm like, there's maybe some other films. I don't think it's the appeal to watch Bambi is very rare. I feel like you have to be in a certain mood to watch it.
Right. No, I agree. Maybe put Bambi on Splash Mountain.
We are not getting into that conversation.
No, we're not getting into that conversation. All right, Dan. So it's time to give our grades on this film. Okay. We give grades A to F, obviously, or A+ to F.
Yep.
For you, what's your grade? What are you giving this one?
So if I always say C is my sort of average level.
Okay.
Is it a movie that I think is beautifully designed, beautifully animated, beautiful music? As a movie itself, if I was being objective, this would be a wonderful, A+ movie. But I don't love it as much as other films. I just don't. I mean, it goes back to that appealing factor. So I'm gonna give it. I'm going back and forth on this one. I'm gonna give it a B. I'll give it a B. B for Bambi. I was thinking B minus, but I think that's a bit too close to the C sort of category.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give it any more than a B because those are for my really exceptional sort of films that are just so wonderful. But it's definitely an above average movie. I think it is beautifully animated. The music is great. I think the storytelling is let's put it this way. I was going into this movie feeling like I was going to get a bit underwhelmed, but I wasn't at all. I thought I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think B for Bambi. That's what I've gone for.
Yeah, I agree. That was going to be my score as well. I almost went B+. But there were a couple of slow moments here and there in this film. I think it's done really, really well. I agree with you. I was expecting to be bored and underwhelmed with this film. I really enjoyed myself, and a B is a really good score. A's and A+ are for the elites, and this one almost got a B+ out of me. And really, I don't even have a problem giving it a B+ if I have to.
Yeah.
It was really done well. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Jackie gives it an A-. James gives it an A-. B for Joey's World. B- for Carlos. A for Laurie. People are definitely giving it. Candy Mom gives it a B as well.
Wendy's.
Yeah. Wendy gave it. What did Wendy say? Did I lose it?
It's beautifully drawn and animated.
Oh, yeah.
And the score is fantastic, but it makes me sad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tina gives it a B as well. It's A for G. Wilson, B for Simba 2, A for Paul, A- for Andrea. It really is. It's really done well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this film. So,
and what I can see is no one is giving this a low score, which I thought
it's great, isn't it?
Which I thought was going to happen. I thought we were going to get those sort of C's and D's. We didn't. So
no. And folks, if you haven't watched this in a while, go watch it. I really recommend you go watch it. I think you're going to it's going to bring back some childhood memories. It did for me. I think you're going to really enjoy this. This isn't Carlos. I'm going to poke at you here, buddy, a minute. This isn't Avengers Infinity War, but it's Bambi, and it's a classic, and it's one of Walt's favorites. And these films, I always worry and get scared that they're going to be forgotten over time, and I hope they don't.
I would really recommend, if you haven't seen it on Disney Plus, once you've watched Bambi, go and watch the documentary on Frank and Ollie, who were two of Walt's nine old men who worked on Bambi. They really brought life to it, and it was a wonderful documentary.
Yeah. Wendy says, I would give it a low score, but I don't want to spoil the chat. Wendy, you give your score. You give your score.
Yeah, no one's going to judge anybody. It's everybody's opinion.
Yeah, Dan's right, 100%. B- for Emily. And Simba says it's classic Walt, so it gets a higher grade. It does.
Yeah.
Jackie says maybe the live action will be from the hunter's point of view.
Oh my gosh!
Back from the war and has to feed his family.
Oh, I couldn't handle that.
Not.
I couldn't handle that. No, I couldn't handle that.
Pamela Hoffman gives it a B as well.
Okay.
All right, so there we go. I think the consensus is pretty much B across the board from everybody.
Love it. On
all
average.
Right, Dan. So we have to pick now. We are coming up on 5 minutes. It's time to pick from Tyrion Lannister.
I don't know why it's in Tyrion's Funko box.
That's all right.
We
have to pick for next week. And next week, we're back on Dan's channel. And what will we be reviewing, guys? All right, here we go. Here's the poll.
I'm going to go for... Oh,
me either, Wendy. Me either.
This one. All righty. Oh, it's a small one. Okay, we are going live action, and both of us are dog fans. We are going to watch Homeward Bound.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Homeward Bound.
I don't think I've ever seen that, Dan.
Neither have I.
I don't think I've ever seen Homeward
We are
Bound.
going to be watching with the dogs this week, Homeward Bound.
Joey's World is it Little Drummer Boy? Oh my God. Jim or Deborah, welcome in. Hi, Deborah.
You know what I love about these is because I was saying this before the stream. With this whole series, this is a chance for us to sort of watch films that we've never seen before. So I'm looking forward to watching Homeward Bound.
Me too.
I've never seen it. I'm going to watch it with my dog. I'm sure you're going to watch it with Camden, and we're gonna. Laurie says which version? We'll watch I think we'll watch the original, and if we have time to watch any others, then we will. But I think we'll probably focus mainly on the original Homeward Bound film.
Yeah, absolutely. Dreamer Deborah, it's good to see you, dear. Wendy says she loves that film. I've never seen it. Jennifer says she's never seen it. I haven't either. Paul loves it. What did Lisa say? Did I miss Lisa say something? I don't know what she must have said something. Which version? Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen it. Such a sad and good movie. Thanks, Noah. Don't tell me. Don't.
Oh, great. Got to get the tissue box out again.
Carlo's never seen it. Surprise.
Oh, yeah. Surprise.
I'm just kidding with you, buddy. You know that. It's been a long time. All right. So Melissa has seen. I haven't seen it. So she'll have to sit.
Oh, so Melissa could join us next week.
Maybe. So Deborah says, just saying, I love Bambi. When my little girl was about 3, she loved Thumper. Yeah, Thumper he's a great character. Lori French says she loves all the versions of the Homeward Bound. I've never seen it, so this is going to be new to me. It's going to be new to Dan. So you're going to have fresh reviews of this movie. That's awesome.
Disney Plus, we've got number 1 and 2. So I'm definitely going to watch the first one, and we'll see about the second one.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the first one. It's going to be difficult. There's so much to do during the week to watch the second one, but the first one's definitely going to get my attention for sure. Yep. We should all go watch it in preparation for next week. Yes.
Do it.
Always.
This is the point. This is. It's like our Disney movie book club. This is what it is.
Gotcha. Noah says, I'll promise not to spoil it now. I already did. Nah, you're fine, buddy. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Thanks to all the chat participants for hitting that thumbs up. Yes, guys, thank you all so much. It means the world to me. 31 watching with 37 likes. It's just fantastic.
Amazing.
But so Dan, there you go. Episode 3 is in the books, buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I really am loving these. We had such a great time last year doing the Star Wars films, which are in here. So it was so much fun doing Star Wars Sunday and doing these again. We just choosing films that maybe we haven't seen before, some we have seen before, and I'm excited. And
me too.
We've had some amazing movies so far, and some movies might be a bit more tricky to get through than others, but I'm excited. Yeah. It's the whole point of the show. Yeah,
we've been 3 for 3. We really have. Donna Jaworski, welcome in, Donna. Great to see you, dear, lovely Donna. It's always great to see you. Donna is one of our members as well. Donna, it's great to see you, dear.
So good to see you.
No, it's great. It's okay. It's Disney. It can only go 2 ways, happy or sad. It's true. It only goes one of 2 ways. I agree 100%.
Oh, dear.
But all right, so we are going to wrap things up, Dan. Again, thank you, buddy, for being here as always.
Pleasure.
I hope you had a good time.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Talk to us a little bit about what's coming up on Disney, Dan.
Being that I've got 1 more week of work before the summer holidays, so there'll be much more vlogging and stuff to come out very, very soon, which is really cool. So Thursday 5 p.m. is myself and Gonzo Disney Nuts Season 2 Episode 2. So Disney trivia, all that kind of good stuff. So come join us on there. Disney Food Friday on Friday. That's going to be an exciting one. Members voted last week. The vlog is going to go up this week. That's going to be fun too. It's a real interesting one. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Saturday is Disney Fiasco episode 98.
98.
2 weeks to go till 100 episodes. Mm-hmm. So, and that's going to be a big stream. And then Sunday, obviously, we're back here for Disney Movie Review at 6 p.m. Eastern for Homeward Bound. And then some other stuff coming out really soon as I finish work this week. And we'll have a lot more vlogs. This is going to be a summer of Disney, Dan, I think. I'm going to do a lot this summer, as I can't get out to Disney anytime soon.
That's awesome, man. We're excited. I can't wait to see it. Glad to see you're getting active with it. Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Great. Yeah. Richard the Arjohn's legend. That's what
Good
I call
to see
him.
you, Arjohn's.
He's Richard the Arjohn's legend. What's up, Richard? Good to see you, buddy. He's blaming his lateness on Nick and Sam. I'm not going to get into that. Nope. Well, as for us here at Mouse Talk, we have a lot coming. We really, really do. Melissa and I have been doing a lot of filming behind the scenes stuff, that we're getting ready for. We have a new video coming out really, really soon. We have another around town video that's going to be coming out. We have another dining review coming out. We dined at Grand Floridian Cafe. That's coming. We have a video of us going to the parks, not the parks, but to the resorts coming really, really soon, probably tonight or tomorrow. And then finally, we filmed our very first episode of Man versus Park.
I'm so excited.
We wrapped that today. Now, I will be honest with you. This is members only exclusive video. It goes to the members first. It will release after that, but I highly recommend that if you'd like to be a member, obviously never expected or needed, but it is a members video, and we wrapped it today. And I'll just tell you, it's called the A to Z Challenge, and it was against Universal Studios, and it was tough. I'll put it at that. And we did a lot today, and it was 100 degrees. So we wrapped on that. We have to edit it and get it ready to go. So that's coming soon, and tons of other videos, guys. We're just so excited. We'll be back on Tuesday with this Sanity. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys can join us, and thank you for always being here. It just means the world to us. Courtney Wayne Wooders, welcome in. Good to see you as well. Courtney. Thanks for coming in. Dan, any final words to everybody before we head out, buddy?
No, just make sure you have more tissues for next week. Because you're going to cry again.
I guess. I don't know. I've never seen Homeward Bound. It's a dog. If he dies, I'm going to get really, really upset, dude. I have a dog.
Me too.
You ever seen Marley and Me? Have you ever seen Marley and Me? I can't watch that.
And A Dog's Purpose? Oh,
my God. It's infuriating. It is. It's infuriating. It makes me so mad. Why is a dog? Isn't that terrible when we get so upset when dogs die? But
no. Don't bring up Game of Thrones and the direwolf. The Red Wedding.
Nick, Magical News Live. What's up?
Nick.
I know the Red Wedding. All those people died, and we're more upset that one of the dire wolves was an arrow.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
What kind of people are we? Oh, well, Game of Thrones is the statute of limitations on Game of Thrones is over. Dog dies. I am up fucking tears. It's the God's honest truth. Oh my God! Oh, it's so funny. We are terrible people. Not really. Yeah, the dogs. That's right. The dogs in Bambi were villains. They were. You're right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Well, guys, thank you to everybody in the chat. Damn, we got like 35 watching now. I'm almost sad to get out of here because I know it's late for you, buddy. It's like midnight. Yeah. You got work in the morning.
I do.
But all right. So everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Again, you always have a choice of where you spend your time. You spent it here with Dan and I, and it just means the world to both of us. We're honored to have you. The chat is always fantastic with these movie reviews. You guys are always active. You're always giving us good information. I love your feedback. Dan loves it too. I know you do.
Oh yeah. All the time.
Yeah, this has been really, really fun. We're only 3 weeks in and already we're loving it. It's been amazing. Come back for next week because we're going to have another great review, and maybe we'll have a special guest. Yes,
it'll be on my channel. So
Dan's
subscribe
channel.
if you haven't. So.
Yep. Yes, please subscribe so you don't miss it. Hit that bell notification because next Sunday, 6:00, Dan's channel, Homeward Bound, we are reviewing it.
Yeah.
But Dan, what is your sign off?
Eat more food. No. Live your life with a smile each and every day, and I'll see you all real soon.
Yep. And we always say, take care of yourselves and each other, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our members. God bless all of you. And really do take care of yourselves and each other. I think we're at a time in the world where we need to do that.
Yeah.
And God bless all of you. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you all during the week. I'm sure I'll see all of you. See you all really soon.
Later.
Bye, everybody.